But yeah, no. So you know what? I just want to go around like talk about each and every book with you, genuinely. Like
Yeah, go for
with
it.
the first book and the second book and everything, like because like we said, the fourth book changed everything, right? And
Yeah, true.
even for the movies, like each and every movie and each and every book had its own like I don't know. We have our own love for them,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
let's just start with like I'm guessing you've seen each and every movie as well, right? Like some
Yes.
people have only read the books and not seen the movies as
No, no,
well.
seen all
So
the movies as well.
right. So if we were to go, Chal, let's say let's start with the first book.
Mm-hmm.
Did you when you saw the first book being translated into the movie, did you miss something in that movie? Like, what did you feel? Because for me, I
See, to
first
be
saw the
very
movie, so
honest,
I never
I
really
think
got to
I think till the third book, I didn't really notice any gaps. Also, I was
know.
like a little kid, so I wasn't a fucked up adult who was trying to psychoanalyze every beat. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think my blank goes up right to the third book where they just skipped the Quidditch finally. Like, just fucking skipped
Oh,
it in the movie.
yeah.
And
They didn't show
yeah,
Gryffindor winning the Quidditch Cup.
yeah.
Then why did they
So
why didn't they
that
show
was
them winning
messed up.
the
At least in
Quidditch
the
Cup?
first book, for me, the milestones were like Harry being mistreated and the boa constrictor. Just
Ah,
thanks.
I mean,
These
oh
were the
yeah,
had
yeah. Peeves also was kind of missed out on. Though I guess I
yeah.
can understand why Peeves wasn't brought in because I think that would just be extra runtime for not a lot.
I
Though
mean, and did
though
you know right from the beginning that there will be movies for all seven books, or was it like did it come out in phases?
uh for the movies.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, well,
I mean I never really looked into the news at the time. This is like early on, right? Like these movies came out in the early 2000s when
yeah,
we
I
were
think
never
they
looking
decided to
into
probably
books.
sample with one book
Yeah,
and see how like they had
yeah.
no fucking idea the kind of jackpot
I
they're
mean
going
the
to land
books
on.
already had a very big response in the UK in general, right? Like
Correct.
so the audience that was asking for it was there,
Yeah,
and I
fair.
think the studio saw that they should make
Yeah,
these movies and kind of work on
correct.
them and put the budget in, and that's I think that plan was always there that they'll make the whole series into
I
the
mean, yeah, that was aspirational for
movie,
sure.
right?
Do you remember like there was this such a kind-eyed Dumbledore in the first book, and then
He passed away,
he
man.
passed
Like
on,
that's the
right?
thing.
Yeah,
So what happened
I
was
still
he was
remember
there
his
till
expression like
yeah.
earwax. Ah,
He's an amazing actor. Just saying, like he's done a lot of work before
yeah.
that.
I don't care. He's only Dumbledore. He's done no other work, and I think that's the exact same reason why I
No, but
haven't seen movies.
for that for that actor for his work that he did,
Sure,
honestly,
I'm just kidding.
Richard
Yeah,
Harris is honestly like one of the great actors that who passed away sadly after the second movie, and that's why
okay.
he had to be changed. He had to
Yeah,
be
right.
replaced, and
On the second movie.
Michael Gambon, who did an amazing job as Dumbledore,
Dumbledore,
like Dumbly,
Dumbledore,
Dumbly.
Dumbledore.
I mean,
I
Albus
mean,
was
does
amazing,
this
and
happen to
his
you? Like, I mean, at least for me, I have not been able to convince myself to see any other movies of these guys that these actors might have acted in because, like, it's such a paradox that their success has, at least in my head, just set their characters in stone. Like, Daniel can't be anybody but Harry, and Hermione.
honestly, I think
That's what happens to me. I mean, I recently saw this movie called the Social Circle or the Circle something in
right.
which Emma Watson is
Yeah, Red Sox something it was called.
yeah,
I
and all
don't
I could
remember.
see is like Hermione, idhar kya kar rahi hai? What is she doing here? Like she's so far away. Did
You
she
need to watch Bling Ring then. I'm
she in
telling
a
you, you're gonna have
portkey
it.
or something?
Also not only that, like watch Perks of Being a Wallflower, bro. That's an
Ah,
amazing
I
movie,
have been
and
recommended a
she's
lot.
done an amazing job in that. And
Yeah,
anyway, Ezra Miller and all those people. It's a really good
I
movie.
mean,
You should watch.
correct.
But like in general, like I think honestly, I didn't stop myself from watching that movie. I was kind of excited for watching like the other movies. To be fair,
Yeah, fair. So all of
for
them
me
went
it was the
into
opposite.
acting. All of them went. Like I remember like
No,
briefly
no,
that
no. Rupert Grint isn't like acting.
so Rupert
He
Grint basically just became Ed Sheeran, right? Like are we going to talk about
yeah,
the elephant in the
yeah.
room or what?
He's Ed Sheeran for
He's Ed
sure.
Sheeran, obviously. Like
Also,
he
he's gonna
obviously
have a
wakes up.
kid. His,
What?
yeah. His
Ah,
wife
another
is
Weasley is
pregnant right
on the
now. That's
way.
crazy.
There's another Weasley on the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Another Weasley is joining the
How are they
troop,
going
man.
to eat so many
Freaking
mouths?
amazing.
Yeah, that was just a
Um,
snide comment by Malfoy.
but
Comment.
oh, Tom Felton still continued acting
But
though. Man.
he made it so easy for us to hate him, and that just shows how great of an actor he is, right?
Dude,
Because like,
honestly, I think I loved him in the sixth movie. Just saying, Tom
yeah,
Felton in the
oh
sixth
yeah,
movie.
when he starts to transform, and oh
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah,
God, he
yeah.
cries
And
because that bird dies in the wardrobe,
dude,
and
that his acting in that movie was
that is
amazing.
so.
But we are again getting ahead of ourselves. Let's
I
talk
know.
about the
Why do
first
we
movie.
gotta structure it?
First
Harry Potter
movie.
is the best.
We have to structure it
Okay, you know
because
what? At
you
least for
know,
me, the
huh?
first movie had all the landmarks. Okay, it had
Yeah.
Harry, it had Hagrid giving Dudley a tail, and then it had Diagon Alley, and then it had the train, and it had the train lady with all that fucking sweet tooth. Like just like, dude,
Everything that you want.
what the
You
fuck?
want
Those
something from
chocolate
the trolley, dear? Anything
pumpkin,
from the trolley?
and then Ron's all pissed off and like, all I have is just these beef sandwiches.
And then Harry just flexes on him.
Yeah, but I
he,
got some money.
he just removes a fucking fistful of gold.
Yeah, like yeah, like.
Look at this boy.
Look at this boy and
He's
just
our
buys
boy.
stuff for everybody, and oh my god, and I think that's where they're like they talk about the
Harry's the
frogs.
reason hype beast culture exists because he flexed on his friends.
Oh, dude, that was crazy, man. First movie had all, like they even had Fluffy. Like what more can one
Fluffy,
ask for? Like that was
Fluffy,
fucking
and also I think one of the most fun parts of that movie was how well they actually started with introducing everything,
correct.
and just that opening scene of Hagrid taking him through that pub in
Yeah,
London
yeah, yeah,
to the back wall, and then just touching like and just like doing that code with his umbrella, or
yeah,
rather wand slash
yeah.
umbrella, whatever you want to call it. And he and then suddenly like all the bricks are going moving to the side, and it's just like such
That,
a new world emerges in front of you, full of people, full of like shops and magic and animals and um everything that's there, like Gringotts and everything. Like you could,
oh god.
it was such a good way to introduce like just the whole idea of a wizarding world.
Yeah, and they tie it back, right? In the first movie, Harry's like, no, they
Yeah,
can't have dragons in here, and then in the fucking sixth one, they're
yeah.
like, oh god,
No,
the
that was, I think, that was the
seventh,
part two or part one only that happened. The
part
seventh
one,
part
part
one,
one, seventh.
seventh, yeah, seventh one. Where they go into Gringotts and kind like basically they had to get the Horcruxes, right. But again, we are moving ahead. Um, so yeah, first movie. So introduction, amazing. I think just the whole sorting part as well.
Mm.
What was your favorite thing in the first movie? As just like
Dude, it's gotta be those fucking grabs from the dinner table, man. Like so much food, so much. Like
oh
just
yeah,
Dumbledore ties it up, and he's like, nitwit, blubber, oddman, tweak, and then Harry's like, he's a bit mad, isn't he? And then Fred is like,
yeah.
a little, yeah. And then what? Where did all this food come from? And then they tie it back, right? With like there
Yeah.
actually are house elves, and that comes much later. And there's that pay.
House elves were in the so
Yeah,
all about house elves was, I think, started
the,
off after Dobby and all those people
yeah,
came in, but they never showed spew in the movies. To be
yeah.
fair,
They never showed. They
like
never
they
showed
never showed
Spew.
the whole spew part, and like Hermione actually fighting to free the elves and all those things. So
And I
that
mean,
was
and
actually,
that depicts her real life character as well, right? Because
yeah.
she went on to the UN, and then I think she became an ambassador for peace. And that's like a
Yeah, Emma Watson, right? Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, Hermione. Who's Emma Watson? There is no Emma Watson. There is only
She's
Hermione Granger forever and ever. Like the
But
heart.
I think she wouldn't want that because Hermione might be a part of her, but she
Yeah,
still is more than that, right?
I know
So,
the struggles. I mean, her parents are really dentists, so what can she do, right?
oh my
Oh,
god! But
right.
she
Off to the
she she
chamber.
is, yeah. And again, even in the first book, right? I think one of the best parts for me in the first book was just reading about Quidditch, because I've loved sports and in general, like I follow a lot of sports. So just the whole
Mhm.
idea of like this fantastical thing of like flying around on brooms and scoring points and catching the golden snitch that gives you 150 points is just
Damn.
amazing. And Harry becoming a seeker was one of
Yeah.
the best. I think
Youngest
Quidditch scenes
speaker
were one of the
ever.
best scenes in the movie as well.
I agree. I agree. Like the one with Madam Hooch, and like
Yeah.
they're like up, and then Harry's
Oh,
goes up.
but they did change a lot of things with characters in the movies. Huh? Like just
Mhm.
saying, like Hermione and Ron.
Mm.
I think some of Ron's personality was taken up by Hermione in the movie in general.
Okay.
If and I'll tell you why later on as well. But
Okay.
because Ron in the books was a lot more like he treated Harry as a brother, and you could see like he really took him into into his family, and he got him like he was Harry was that person for him that like just became that close. And to Harry, he became the Weasleys in general became such a big part of his life.
Yeah.
And in the movies, I think like the whole idea of like how Ron also felt like he's being neglected because there were so many people in his family, seven brothers,
Yeah.
um and the whole idea of like there are so many people, he just gets hand me downs, and his whole struggle of coming out of that shadow and being who he is. And Ron Weasley, and that also like the whole idea of his friends are equally amazing in their own ways, and him becoming the whole prefect and head boy and all those things kind of like got forgotten in the movies, which I feel kind of sad for, because Ron had such a good character arc throughout the books, and his growth was really cool to see. Uh, but the movies kind of let it go and just made him like one of those comedic characters for like
Like
slapstick
just
comedy at times. And
yeah,
Rupert Grint did a really good job with it though. Like his expressions and his moments in the movies were really
yeah.
fun.
They just spiders. What?
Even
No,
like even in the
I'm
first
afraid
movie,
of spiders.
man, his lines were so good, dude. Even in the first movie, like just him saying bloody hell
Yeah,
is, is is still like will get me to chuckle, genuinely
yeah,
chuckle.
for sure, for sure,
But
man.
they did forget the potion scene in the first movie. Yeah, just saying.
Okay, no, I they did.
Like remember so when they were trying to finish the tasks to reach the philosopher's stone.
Mhm.
Like there was security, right? And Snape was
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the
yeah,
people
yeah.
who had set up the
Right,
security. So
correct.
his task was that potions task that Hermione
Yeah,
helps Harry to
I
complete.
remember now. Yeah, 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 they skipped
Because
on that.
yeah, because in the first task, in the first thing that was protecting it was those vines.
You had,
I'm forgetting what they were called.
you had those keys, no?
No,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
keys
okay,
were there, but like before that, before after Fluffy, they
correct,
fell into that room with like those vines, right?
correct.
That were
And then you just had to like let go and just be absorbed.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Ron could, so then Hermione did a spell where there was lots of light, and
So
then
the thing was in the books that also was a little different, to be fair, the way
yeah.
that worked out.
But
But again, that's a whole different
I'm
story.
actually fine with that because
Yeah,
something is great visually, and
yeah,
like I
yeah,
would
yeah.
rather they skip the
I
portions
think
and they
I
would
think
do
that
the
worked.
test.
I think that worked for the
Yeah,
movie for sure. I agree with you.
yeah. But then it's
The
always going to be a tough task, right? Like you're
Yeah,
gonna like someone's going to like a scene more than the other people.
yeah.
But I think more than anything, movies are a product of a lot of market research where they're really like taking in a lot of checks and balances, and they're testing
Yeah.
out what they really need to cut out and what they don't. Books, on the other
Also,
hand, I
this
think
was this was also the first movie as well, right? So they
hmm,
also
hmm,
had
fair.
to be careful with what they are doing, how they are working it, and how what would look good
Yeah,
in the
and at
movie.
least for the first movie, it was a given that a lot of people who never read the book would watch the movie. So like the
Yeah.
movie also had the responsibility of turning people to the book.
I
You know?
mean, I was one of those people,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly. So
I never read
they
the
did
book
a good
first.
job.
I
They did
was
a
I
good
was
job
one
for
of the
sure.
people who watched the movie first. So yeah, I agree with the fact that they did a really good job.